Well, I know for me, I don't personally have too much experience on film yet, but I've done single cams before, and this is like perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect happy medium. It's the coolest thing. Yeah.
This is for me. It's like a perfect combination of everything I've done up until this point. So it feels so fitting to be able to do something that is both in front of a live audience, but also you still have your relationship to the camera in a way. And for me, it's like the best of both worlds. So I feel more comfortable here than really anywhere.
Yeah.
It's really lovely.
And I really like we're running stuff together. Also, we sort of have this general understanding of kind of how you would approach it were it on the stage. So I feel like we have this sort of nice unspoken vocabulary about how to just kind of go about stuff quickly, and I really like that feeling.
That's why I'm glad I have a background in all of it, because I then combine them and like, no matter where I am, people always say that there's an adjustment when you're acting for camera versus theater, and there certainly is. You definitely hone it in more, but I'm always just as good as my scene partner, which I learned that from theater training. So I think if you're connecting really to your scene partner, sure, you definitely have the awareness in the back of your head to hold for laughter, or this moment I'm gonna have to deliver more because it's the last line of a scene, so this is expected to get a bigger reaction. So there's like that technique mixed in with throwing it all away and just riffing with your scene partner that makes it feel fresh and look fun, because when I watch these shows, I always just want to look like they're having a fun time, and then it's just funny.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that I feel like the energy of the live audience, you can't focus on it too much, but it so informs everything that's going on. So whether no matter what, it does. But that's cool. That's like what we signed up for. That's part of the game.
Well, I don't have anything to do with the writing process, but I support everything they've been doing and the way they've been doing it.
Yeah.
Because I think that if we ever tried to take my singing voice too seriously, we can get into some deep water there, and then we're trying to do another genre, which we didn't really. This show wasn't. But there's an episode down the line that I don't think you guys saw yet, where we all go to a karaoke bar. So that's something money managers do, and I think Brody, it's great that they've given Brody a good voice, but what I've tried to do is not make it so showy and indulgent. It's like, some guys have good voices, so it doesn't mean that Brody can be on Broadway, but I think they always think story first and comedy first, and then the singing, supports that. So I think it's great.
I love that that's what they ended up doing, because what has become the more obvious choice is the will they or won't they. So I love that they just made this decision, like they absolutely will. They are now. They are, and now it's so cool to watch a working relationship. It's like we get to just blow that out as far as it will go, to watch sort of the ins and outs of how you would make something work, which I think usually takes. I like that we're starting there. I think it's different.
Yeah. I've learned the most about relationships from being in them, and it is so fun. We have a scene tonight in the show, which you guys will see, that is literally, it's just such a conversation that every writer or comedian or actor has had with their significant other, where you're trying to show them your script and they keep interrupting, and it's just like, there's like those kinds of real beats that when we play on the humor of the situation, it'll be even all more relatable. And everyone can relate to a will they or won't they story, but they can also relate to a story in which they are
trying to make it work.
And who knows how long it will last. Will it eventually become a will they or won't they? We don't know that yet.
Right.
But I think that you have just as many places to go by starting them together as starting them not together. Mm-hmm. Maybe even more. I don't know. Yeah. I love that she's so free. And I love that, I think in a great relationships, the significant others bring out the best in you. And I think she brings out the best in Brody. And I think Jenny is good not only for Brody in his personal life, but for his business. I think that, I keep referencing tonight's episode, but there's even a moment in tonight's episode where you get to see her sense of humor carry along to his work directly in a presentation. And I think that's wonderful. I found that every relationship I've ever been in, a good sense of humor and someone who can call you on your BS is somebody who, that's going to be a true, honest relationship.
Are you cat pup, Captain?
Oh no,
Yeah.
I was just gonna
No,
say.
I'm only on Sir these.
Yeah, I actually, I
talked
don't like
about
your
it.
characters.
Yeah.
I think what I like about Brody so much is that from sort of first appearances, he's, you know, kind of obviously the more uptight, sort of, you know, diligent, intense, structured personality, but what has been so fun to find is that actually he's probably the more sensitive one. We're both, you know, both sensitive, but there's a softness to Brody that she senses right away because because of their different backgrounds. I've had to be tough in a lot of different ways and kind of have, you know, my deal with humor and whatever that I do that he doesn't do. And he has this incredible vulnerability that she can't really do herself. She doesn't have that herself, but she's so attracted to it, and it's softened. Like I feel softened by your character in a way that I really, really love.
There's something gender reversal going on there for sure.
I'm happy that I'm on the ground floor because that's not who I'm much more like you. I'm not like that as much. I would be, I think I would be a more top floor personality, so it's really nice to do the opposite of what I would feel more comfortable doing.
Yeah, what do you think I think I'm more top floor?
No, I think you're top.
Top floor?
Yeah.
I mean, well, both of us have the great opportunity that we get to bounce back. So in every episode, we're popping up and down, and I get to have scenes with John. To me, that's what I think about. I don't think about the literal question of the environment as much as like who's on the top floor. So I would be so bummed if I was stuck down there. I didn't get to have scenes with John and Renee, and you know, vice versa. So I'm happy that I get to be the bridge. We both are the bridge, I guess, to the two worlds.
Have your characters evolved in a direction yet that was unexpected at the beginning, or that kind of nailed it down at the top?
I think they've evolved for sure. I mean, obviously they do as we go on with them. I think like just you've learned a little bit more about Brody, at least, that like I keep making mistakes. I feel like I constantly need my boss to tell me what to do in life. Like I keep like every episode I do something that's just like, no, you didn't quite do the right thing there. So I have to do a lot of fixing, and I think that's really fun because it just shows how these characters, these money manager characters, are often played in movies as the villain. They're always these like fast talking, Ferrari driving guys who are the villain to the sweet part. And I love that Brody's soft, he makes mistakes, and that he's so flawed. I think it makes it likable, and I think it makes it relatable, and that's what's different about this show that I love.
I don't know. I think definitely sort of, obviously from the pilot was just sort of, you know, feeling it out and sort of, you know, making the choices that you could make with the information that, you know, we knew at the time. And since then, I feel like for me it's been finding the vulnerable sides of somebody who is confident with themselves. That's really fun. Like a girl who genuinely really, really likes herself, and she's proud of what she's got going on, and it's like not a lot of money, and sometimes it doesn't look great, and it's a little loud and weird, but she's comfortable with it. And so finding what's uncomfortable in a person who's very comfortable with themselves, that's been sort of for me what has gotten way more specific. You know, like oh God, she's kind of jealous one time.
Yeah,
oh
right.
God, no. You know, like that kind of thing has been definitely informed everything.
Well, in the earlier episodes when I go down to the ground floor, I felt like I just to reiterate who Brody was to the audience, I kept having to kind of explain myself and, you know, what? So you guys do nothing down here? Like there was a
why
lot
are
of,
you here?
yeah, there was a lot of like why, you know, so since it was such a question of why he kept going down there, I had these really like wordy things where I'm involving everyone in the scene. Now it's relaxed a lot more into a dynamic, so I can't really say which ones I like more. I have a fondness for the stuff that we have together, but I also have a really great respect for when John McGinley and I have our moments together, our moral talks on his couch. I love, just like Jenny's shows a vulnerable side of Brody, I think Brody shows a vulnerable side of Mansfield, and I like that a lot.
How has the live audience reaction been during the tapings?
It's been pretty awesome.
It's been spoiling us.
Yeah, yeah. It's been amazing.
We've had a lot of repeat audience members already.
Customers.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
for sure. I think there's been like a whole section. I don't know them by name, but I know them by shape.
Yeah.
And I just like, oh, it's those people, the loud people,
Yeah.
and I mean that's like, to me, this thing hasn't even aired yet, and
Yeah.
there are already people that have come back 6 or 7 times. That's pretty amazing.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Absolutely. I mean, I think if anyone was developing a real personal relationship with their boss, they would feel really great about it, but also they would know that it's their boss. And I think, not to say Brody has an ulterior motive, I just think that, Mansfield does a great job, or the writers do a great job at letting Mansfield drop the hammer on Brody when it's like, yeah, no, this is done now I'm your boss again.
Yeah.
So I love that he wears those different hats, but yeah, Brody's father passed away. We find that out in the first episode, and I think that it's really great that it's given him this father figure. I think he really, really trusts and believes Mansfield, despite his tendencies to hit golf balls off of a rooftop. I think he knows he's kind of his wacky boss, but I think down to the core he's got a big heart, and I think Brody knows that.
But this isn't Brody's first job, right?
No,
Okay,
not at
so-
all.
okay.
No, he did graduate Harvard probably like 3 or 4 years prior. This is definitely not his first job, but I think he had a quick rise to the top. Yeah.